Yo, it's good, y'all. I'm back. Yeah, it's been a couple months since I posted anything on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I've noticed that I've lost some subscribers along the way because I'm sure that after a while that I haven't been posting and all of that, it's like, okay, people starting to lose interest now, but I ain't stressing about that right now. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really not. Like I said, I gain some, I lose some just to gain some again at the end of the day. So I ain't stressing about it too much. I'm not gonna get crazy with that. It's just that I've been busy. I've been busy, as y'all know, man. I've been busy. I've been busy trying to get my music together because I finally got through to really learning the basics and working my way up eventually once I get hands on with my stuff, with my craft, and that I get a chance to do it on my own. But I was being taught the basics on what to work with when it comes to music production, audio engineering. That's what I've been doing this whole time, along with everything else. I'll get to that in a moment. But that's the first thing I wanted to bring up for y'all. I've been working on my music production, audio engineering stuff, bruh. I finished my classes, 101 classes that I did to learn everything I needed to know about it. I mean, of course, I got my research, I got YouTube, I got Google, I got all of that to make sure that I know what I'm getting myself into when I start producing, start audio engineering, everything. Of course, when it gets down to my stuff, I know what I would want to do with my stuff, but I had to make sure that I'm on top of it at the same time, especially when, eventually I work with other people. That's always the thing to keep in mind, because when I work with other people, I got to make sure that I'm on my A game with that one too. So that's what I've been doing this whole time. That's why I haven't been posting in a while. And my sincere apologies to that, because I know I made it a thing that every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I post a piece of poetry up there. And then every other Sunday, I post videos like this, vlog videos. But that's another topic that I wanted to get into after this. But yeah, man, I've been working on the music stuff. I've been getting into the music stuff. Once I get the equipment that I need necessary in order for me to really get started on my own stuff, and then work with others on different things, I already know what I got in mind of what I want to do in addition to my poetry and lyricism that I try to bring to the forefront for projects that I'm thinking about, because it's up in here and I don't want to lose that. I really don't. I don't want to lose that. But I'm always hearing the beat in my head whenever I read a piece of poetry that I've written down, that I've typed up, for the most part saved on my phone. But yeah, I haven't lost the ideas yet. I still keep them in mind whenever I look at them, because then I know what flow I'm working in, or in this case, the delivery of um, how I express myself through my work. So you will get a chance to hear that eventually. I will be working on that very, very soon. But it's gonna cost me in order for that to happen. I mean, of course, I gotta talk with the fam about that too. Just make sure everything is straight, and I'm gonna be ready to move on from there. But then I also got other things in the works, because I got people that's ready to hit me up, or I hit them up, and I'll be ready to let them know that, there's a chance if we're gonna collab on something, we gotta make it happen. Takes time though. It's not like it's just gonna happen on the fly like that. It ain't gonna happen like that. It's gonna take time. It's a process. But eventually it's gonna get done, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all that, man. Especially if I'm featured on someone else's joint and I get a chance to showcase what I'm capable of on someone else's joint. It's like that's a dream come true for me already. It's like people recognize what I want to bring to the table, and I hop on a beat, I hop on someone else's joint. It's like I gotta prepare for it. I always prepare. So that way, when I get in there, I'm ready. I ain't gotta do it while I'm doing it. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. Simple as that. I can't wait for that to happen, though. I can't wait. Like, to really get into that. I can't wait for that to happen. So eventually, y'all are gonna hear from me in that sense. You're gonna hear from me through that very, very soon. It's a work in progress. It's the beginning stages of what I've been doing so far as music goes. And I've already done 3 beats. One I did myself, and the other 2 I was collaborating with someone else. I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I mean, these are the beginner stages. Eventually, I gotta get better as I go along. That's the point of all this. This is a taste of what you're gonna get from me once I really get into it. Once I really get hands-on with things. Like, really invest my time into my craft, my material, all of it. It's just a taste of it. So that's the update for y'all right there. As far as music goes, that's the update for y'all right there. Alright? Now, as far as, dates, release dates, deadlines, all of that, as I brought up moments ago, the whole thing about me, I'm gonna switch this up. As far as me posting videos up on my channel and stuff like that, I'm not gonna be able to do it every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then every other Sunday I'm posting videos like this. And then I'm going on posting my poetry stuff. See, I'm not gonna be able to do that on the daily like that, because I'm gonna be busy with other things. And that's the thing that I really wanted to get into right here, as far as dates, release dates, and deadlines and all of that. It's how do I put this? Release dates and deadlines can be a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna throw it out there like that. It's a pain in the ass. Especially when I get a chance to work on the stuff that I've been working on, including trying to get my poetry book together. I know I sound like a broken record saying that, and nothing is out there yet. Trying to get my poetry book together and all of that. I know, I sound like a broken record. I sound like a broken record by doing that, but it's like, it takes time, it's a process, and when I thought that I was done, I actually thought of a different way to do it, where it's like, nah, I don't like it this way. I'm gonna rearrange what I was gonna do with the book and do it a totally different way. And it's like, I gotta figure that out once I actually do it. I gotta figure that part out. But I have an idea of what I'm working with as far as that goes. But yeah, release dates and deadlines, it's like, nah, that's a killer, man. That's a killer, because it's one thing to promise people something, especially when you drop the date that you're gonna release something. If you're gonna drop something on that day, people are expected for you to drop something on that day. But when it doesn't drop on that day, you got rumors, speculation, skepticism. You got people ready to just pounce on the opportunity to be like, uh-oh, something is wrong. Something is up. If nothing is dropping on this day, something is up. Something is wrong. That's not always the case, but there have been times when the end result, as soon as something gets released, especially if it doesn't drop on the day that it was supposed to, eventually when it gets released and the end result turns out to be exactly what they thought, their skepticisms were right, that something did go wrong and the end result is not what they hoped it was going to be, it's like it's a rush job. It seemed like it's a rush job because you try so hard to put something out when you got a deadline, and it's that whole thing of trying to work within that time frame to get it to as close as you try to make it as far as putting your project out there. But if you feel like as if it's not up to par with how you envisioned it, how you heard it, how you saw it, but it's already released, it's too late by then. The only thing you gotta do afterwards is prepare for the next time you're about to release something. Especially if you're gonna drop a release date, because people expect something to drop on that specific day. The thing with me is, I don't like release dates and deadlines. I'm sure when it comes to release dates and deadlines for specific things that it's bound to happen, so I gotta deal with that every now and again. But the whole thing with release dates, deadlines, that's something that I had to deal with while I was in school. That was stressful enough for me. That was stressful enough for me right there. The thing about release dates, I can't stand them. Especially if I want to put out something, whether it's a book, whether it's music, whatever it is. If I'm gonna drop something, or something like this, making videos like this, if I'm gonna drop something, I'm gonna drop it whenever I'm gonna drop it. I ain't trying to put no dates on anything. No release dates, no deadlines, nothing. You're gonna get it when you're gonna get it. Okay? I need all the time I could get to make sure that whatever it is I'm putting together, it comes out the way I wanted it to. That's it. If I'm gonna release anything, that's the main thing with me. I set up a specific date whenever I'm gonna drop something. People expect me to drop something that day, and then I have to race against the clock and scramble all over the place to make sure that I have everything in place before the day comes. That's basically me putting myself in a position where I'm not just trying to compete with everybody else. I'm competing with myself. I'm going on trying to compete with myself, trying to make sure that whatever projects I do, whatever it is that I do, that I'm putting together, that's a challenge within itself. That's difficult as it is, because you want to make sure you got it right for what you're doing with it. But when it comes down to having a deadline, a release date, it's like, nah, now you're on a time constraint. You're on a time frame. You got to fit within that time frame everything that you do. If nothing drops on that day, people are going to speculate. People are going to think something is up. Why is it that nothing got dropped on that day? Why nothing dropped on that specific day? People expect something, and when they don't get it, they're going to say something about it. That's how it is. That's usually how it is. And that's the thing I can't stand. For anybody and everybody who gets a chance to watch this video right now, heed my words right now, okay? The moment I drop something, oh sure, I'm gonna tease. There's gonna be times where I'm gonna tease something, and I keep teasing. I don't want to do too much of that though, but I'm gonna tease stuff for when something is gonna drop, but I'm not teasing any release dates. I'm not doing that to myself, and I'm not gonna do that to anybody who actually takes interest into what I'm doing, okay? Any one of y'all who has an interest in what I'm doing, watching this video right now, mark my words. Whenever I drop something, mark down the day it drops. Just so you can remember the day when it dropped. I ain't teasing no release dates. I need all the time I could get to put whatever it is that I'm putting together, right? I want to make sure that I got it done, finished, that It sounds the way I would want it to sound. It looks the way that I would want it to look. And I hear it the way I would want to hear it. Alright? Not everybody is going to like what I do. But for those who take interest in what I'm doing, y'all understand where I'm coming from with that. Okay? Bottom line, release dates are a killer. I know it's a huge thing, especially being in the industry. I know it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing to set up a release date so that you can build people's anticipation for when something is going to drop, right? I get that. I understand that. But for me, I'd rather tease what I'm doing, but don't tease release dates. Because then people got their expectations set too high for when a release date is announced. When it's teased. Because people expect it to happen on that day. And if it doesn't happen, that's it. Something suspicious is going on. Or something was wrong. Something went wrong. That's not always the case. But there have been times when people are right about that, especially when it comes to the end result. It would seem like it's a rush job because they're just trying to release something. Trying to give the people what they promised, yet it's not exactly what was promised. I want to make sure that if I'm going to release anything, it's something that I promised y'all. Right? That's what I'm going for. Release dates messes with my flow in that process. I don't like that. If I'm gonna drop something, y'all know it when it does drop. Mark my words. Whenever I drop something, mark down the day it dropped. Just so you remember. Mark down the day it drops. That's it. Mark that down. Mark down the day it drops. That's how I feel about it at this point. Moving on from that. Of everything that's been going on out here in the world, everything that has to do with politics, everything that has to do with music and TV and movies, everything that had to do with economics, everything that has to do with history, everything that has to do with whatever topic it is. I'm going to keep it brief with this one. Put it this way. However you interpret it, that's your outlook on things so far. For me, I can only hope for better. I can only hope for better out here. That's all I can say to that. I can only hope for better. And it's not just being done just for the sake of it being done. It's done in a meaningful way. I can only hope that there could be better going on out here in this world. I can only hope and pray for that. Because a lot of shit has been going down lately. And the more we talk about it in a civilized manner, remember what I said before, civilized manner, agree to disagree, have a conversation about these things, but do it in a sense where it doesn't have to come down to, I'm right, you wrong, get the hell out of here. You know, to the point where it reaches that negativity, like what we had to deal with on social media these days, the internet and all of that. I'm talking about that. That's a part of what I'm saying here. But yeah, to have a better outlook on things, everybody is going to interpret things differently. Not everybody is going to agree on the same thing. We got our own minds. We got our own thoughts. We got our own opinions about things. But we got to do it in a civilized manner. Don't bring it to that territory where it gets way out of hand for no reason. Everything that's being discussed right now, that's all I can say to that. I can only hope and pray for better. I mean, this is me trying to keep a positive outlook on things and don't allow the negatives to run my life. Same thing should go for y'all. Don't let the negatives run you. The positives should outweigh the negatives of the things that we're dealing with right now. As hard as it is to accept the fact that it is what it is, keep that positive outlook in your mind. That's my hope and prayers for that right there. That's how I feel about it for right now. That's how I feel about it. All right. Well, there goes that. Um. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to Aaliyah. uh, really miss her, man. The anniversary of her passing. I still feel bad about the fact that her life was taken too soon before she really had a chance to be a prominent figure within the industry. I loved that about Aaliyah. She was on the rise to become that. She was on the rise, man. I loved that about her. She had that vibe to her where you do get a feeling of where she's talking about, where she's coming from, and what was her goals, her motives, and what was the purpose of her being in the industry as it is. During the time when she was still alive and kicking, that's what I got out of that coming from her. I was really hoping to see more of her down the line, hear more from her down the line. I was really hoping for that. And right now, I'm thinking about it. She could have been doing. Could have? She would be doing so much, man. She would be doing many things. Many things. I mean, she was doing the music, of course, but then she was already getting into the acting stuff. I would think she'd be doing more if she was still around now. I swear, man, she would have been one of those prominent figures within the industry that she was going to do things her way. In a way, to me, this is just how I feel about it. To me, she was a rebel in her own right. She was a rebel in her own right. I feel like I got that coming from her. That being in the industry, she's she was gonna make the music the way she was gonna make the music. She was gonna have a look the way that she wanted to look. She was not going to, try to meet the standards of what comes with the industry. Otherwise, that's gonna break her down. That was gonna tear her apart, knowing that she's trying to live up to those expectations. Nah. She already got it. Well, she already had enough on her plate to deal with. She already had enough to deal with. As far as being in the industry goes, just getting in there. That's a challenge within itself. And that she was trying to present herself as herself. I loved that about her. And I'm upset at the fact that we never got a chance to get any more of that. So, rest in peace to her again. That the more I listen to her, the more I see her while she was alive during the time that she was on her rise, I feel her presence. She's there in spirit. So, I'm praying for her in spirit, knowing that she has been in a better place. And that's all I have to say to that right there, because it's hard. It's hard to accept the reality of the situation when it happened. It was hard, but can never forget what she did already. She may not have or had a long lifespan, but she made her mark anyway. She did it already. She made her mark. She made it happen. Talk about nostalgia. Just going back in the days when she did do something that it's engraved in our brains. And I appreciated that. Especially for those that were around her, helping her become the person that she was on the rise to become while being in the industry, that they supported her in every way that they could. And to this day, I'm sure they would. No doubt about it. But I'm praying for her in spirit. No matter what. Not just for the anniversary of her passing, but every day. Every day. She was one of the reasons why I wanted to get into music in the first place. She was one of those people that got me thinking about what would happen if I was getting into music. She was one of the reasons why I have a passion for music. So, with that said, I wanted to make this video and update you guys on this. This is Blue Flames the Poet. I'm out.